All right. Well, I'm sure there will be more people trickling in coming from the other sessions. Good morning, everyone. Good evening, depending on where you're at in the world. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to be hosting this event. So my name is Shannon. I'm a director of enrollment management with Shorelight, and I'll be moderating this portion of today's events. This session is specifically on budget-friendly university towns and cities. So this morning, I'm joined by Erin Wilbarger, Director of International Programs at Oklahoma City University. Let's see, can you all hear me, or is there quite a bit of interference? On my end, it sounds completely fine. So apologies if there's interference. Hopefully that won't be the case for the rest of it. But I'm joined by Erin Wilbarger, Director of International Programs at Oklahoma City University, Brenna Wright, Enrollment Counselor at Virginia Wesleyan University, and Chidime, Managing Director at Auburn University at Montgomery, who are excited to speak to you today. Just a couple of quick housekeeping items before we begin. We ask that all participants please remain on mute throughout the session. And for questions, please use the question and answer button along the bottom. We will not be using the chat function for questions, so please enter your questions in the question and answer feature. You can find it at the bottom of your screen. We can answer questions throughout the session as we go, and we will have time at the end to answer any questions that we have not been able to answer already. All right, well, without further ado, I'd like to welcome Erin to begin his presentation.
All right, let's do some sharing. Hopefully everybody can see the screen. Thank you for joining. Either good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever you may be. Thank you for joining us. Once again, I'm Erin Wilbarger from Oklahoma City University. I'm going to kind of just fly through all this, and hopefully give you an idea about who we are, and then about how we can help you, be budget conscious of going to school in the United States. So we kind of look at, as you are approaching your abilities to, graduating, you're ready to make that step towards going to another university or going across, an ocean really, to get your degree. There are kind of 5 things that we kind of look at. And that's affordability. Can you afford to go, with your tuition, your living expenses? A lot of students tend to look at well, I can afford to go there, like tuition wise, but then when you do get there, there's other expenses and those add up. And so those are things to be considered. I always say location is everything. Locations can break a student or help a student. And that depends on the city that you live in, or if you live outside the city that the school is at, the different geographics of the United States. There's a lot of cost factors that are involved with that. Scholarships, grants, on-campus employment, all those things can assist you. And then benefits for your degree. Are you in a degree that's going to help you beneficial? Is that school going to place you in abilities to help you get your degree, and then hopefully get your foot in the doorway? And then the quality of education. There's a lot of schools out there, but maybe the quality of what you're getting may not be able to help you move forward. So I'm going to talk about Oklahoma City University and how we can help you on budget friendly. If you're not familiar with the United States, there's a map right there. So we are in the southern center half of the United States, in a state called Oklahoma. 50 states within the United States, we're in Oklahoma. A lot of people may have no clue where Oklahoma is. And they may have never heard of Oklahoma. Well, there's a lot of states within the United States. So this is great benefits for you, because we're not on the East Coast nor the West Coast. We're dead center. And so the city itself is Oklahoma City. It is the largest city in the state of Oklahoma. And the university is really kind of named after the city, or were named after the city itself, one of the two. So Oklahoma City University, this is great for you guys. We're a metropolitan private institution. So I'll kind of go in the difference between private and public, but we are a private institution. We've been around for over 100 years in the same location. So we've not shifted around. We are well established within the city. We have multiple programs, as you can see there, a lot of student representatives from different countries, and then we're 200 plus international student population. So when I talk with students, I've been having the abilities to do this for 20 years. And so when I talk with students, I talk to them, basically say, okay, there's two functions of what you want to be looking at. One being the university, one being the programs. And do they fit what you're looking for? There are tons of schools out there, great schools. And so there's a lot of times where the students like, I really want to go, my friends are there, everything seems to be going good, but it may not be your fit. One, the cost may be too much. You know, there's a lot of Ivy League schools out there that a lot of students want to go to, but those may not be the fit for you. There's a lot of big schools out there that may be awesome, have great abilities to get you going, but they can be too costly. So I always tell students, hey, look at the university. What can this university offer you? Ultimately, you want to get your degree and you want to get a job. I mean, that is the ultimate goal when you get it, when you graduate, is to get a job. It's not just to have a piece of paper that says I graduated. It's for you to have a job. So at Oklahoma City University, we're a nationally ranked private university. And this is amongst, you know, all these rankings that you'll see. There's tons and tons of rankings out there. Don't get too hung up on rankings. Your undergraduate academic scholarships, we do have it at the undergraduate level, and those range between $9,000 and $13,000. I always tell students, take advantage of the university that you're applying towards. And what I mean by that is look for scholarships, look for grants, look for on-campus employment, anything that you can do to reduce the total dollar amount down. And so I say, take advantage of us, apply for scholarships, get the on-campus employment, which we have, all these things that you can do. We also do for our graduate students, we do what's called a tuition reduction. What that basically means is we built in a scholarship for you. So we've lowered the overall cost to come to the university. And then one of the things about Oklahoma City University, because we're in the center portion of the United States, there's a lot of land, and land's cheap. And so this gives the ability for cost of rent to be really low. And so we were ranked one of the lowest in rent properties within Oklahoma City out of 50 largest metros in the US. So you take 50 states, largest metros. We're one of the largest metros within the state of Oklahoma, and we are ranked one of the lowest. So this is great for you because if you live off campus, it lowers that cost. Another taking advantage and being able to afford to go to the US. Also look at a school that's lively and vibrant. So we have tons of organizations. We have ability for you to get heavily involved in what you're looking for and to do, because you're going way out. You're leaving your home, you're leaving your family and friends. So there's schoolwork, which is great, but there's also activities in the life that you want to live. So also around, because we're in the metropolitan area, this gives you a great opportunity for you to get connected with businesses. We bring in businesses all the time. And this brings us to the programs. So our programs embed internships. So you're going to have that ability to have an internship. One of the things that we like to do is to build your resume. So not only do we give you a degree, or you kind of earn your degree, but we also want to get you out and get you in that doorway where you're getting your job. And so we build on your resume, we provide internships while you're going to school, all those stuff. One of the great things about a private school is the class size. A lot of students love huge schools. You know, there's those big schools. You can have class sizes in between hundreds to down to 80 to 90, you know, whatever the number should be for your class size. Here at Oklahoma City University, we like that one-on-one connection where your professor will kind of help you, guide you through. This is great for you because our professors and our departments get connected with businesses a lot, and they bring in business partnerships. And so as you start to get that connection with the professor, being in the class size, the size that we are, they can connect you to businesses, where it makes it more difficult if you're in this huge class size where you're just really a number. And you'll probably hear that, where I just don't want to be a number. And that's really important. Another way to help benefit you to get a job after you graduate. So speaking of jobs, we're at 92%. Did you know 42% of international students basically get jobs after they graduate? And not just internationals, but also domestically. So this is recent graduates. 42% US nationally is typically what the schools do on average. Obviously, there's more, like we're at 92. Probably these schools here also are really high. But at 92%, we have graduation rates where they find a job. That is huge. That's huge for international students because it gets even less as you're internationals to find a job after you graduate. Okay, I've talked way too much. So this is our tuition with our bachelor's. One great thing about this, just real quickly, is we're 12 to 16 credit hours. So you basically, as you can see, you're almost getting a class for free because you can take 12 or 16. Like I said, graduates are tuition reduction, so it's $300 off. There's your housing. This is all about us. You talk with Shorelight, we can all get all these things going, stuff like that. But thank you, and hope we hear from you soon.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Aaron. Really great information. And now I'll pass it over to Brenna from Virginia Wesleyan.
Thank you, Aaron. Great job. Thanks for going first. Can everyone see my presentation screen?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So I'm Brenna. I'm our Global Campus Enrollment Counselor. I'm here today from Virginia Beach, Virginia. So that's on the coast of the United States of America, right on the East Coast on the Atlantic Ocean. So I'm just about living here and what it's like to go to school here. Again, is a budget-friendly school. So we are Coastal Virginia's premier university of the liberal arts and sciences. We're actually located right on the crossroads of Norfolk and Virginia Beach. So those are two pretty metropolitan areas. So the bottom picture on this screen, you see it's kind of a city. That is a picture of Norfolk, Virginia. The two top pictures are Virginia Beach. So again, we're very coastal, but you still have opportunities to feel like you're in a more urban setting. I like to say that we're the best of both worlds because while there's so much going on in Norfolk and Virginia Beach, our campus is 300 acres. There's 3 miles of hiking trail. It's very park-like. The farthest that you'll walk through campus from one building to another is 6 minutes. I'm quite short, so if you're any taller than me, it's probably a little quicker. But again, we're really consolidated because the rest of our campus is just wildlife. It's just trees. It's just these paths. It leads to a lake that we have that borders our campus. It is a nice, relaxing balance to everything that we have going on in Virginia Beach and Norfolk. And as you know, Aaron mentioned a lot in his presentation, you want to make sure you like where you live. That's part of what makes your college experience successful. But you also want to make sure that you're not spending too much money in order to do it. So we are a smaller campus. We have lots of opportunities that I'll talk on later, but we also utilize a ton of the different organizations. We have tons of Fortune 500 companies in Virginia Beach and Norfolk. We're big on experiential learning, so we want our students to take advantage of our location and get the most bang for their buck. So we're big into internships, and most of our programs have a component where you do an internship. It's so that you finish your degree here, and you've also been able to prove that you've applied it to the real world, not just that you've learned it in our classes. So we're also a very safe campus. I know that sometimes that can be concerning to students or their parents and their decision to come to the United States. So we are a gated campus, which means that there is a fence around the entirety of our campus, and there's one way to drive on and drive off, or walk on and walk off of our campus. It is through a gated security house, or a gatehouse, I should say, and that's manned 24/7. But you'll see our campus security officers walking around 24/7 regardless, in their golf carts or just on foot in their vehicles. They're a really big part of our campus community because, again, safety is important to us. So again, those are some pictures. We are about 10 to 15 minutes from the beach, so that gives our students a nice way to relax when they're not studying, of course. But again, it has a little bit of everything. So we enjoy the different options that you have here, whether you like the little city feeling or venturing out into the countryside or going to the beach. So we are a smaller university. We're 1,600 students. And again, we're just big on community. So you're going to become a family with the same people you're playing sports with, or you're attending classes with, or that you live on campus. As this slide indicates, 78% of our students do live right here on campus, and that is for all 4 years. So big community. So we're a very diverse community. 45% of our students come from underrepresented populations. That just means that our classes look like the real world, and that you are learning with people who are a lot like you and people who are a lot different from you. And ideally, you get to learn from them both. But again, the melting pot that is Virginia Beach and Norfolk, it is represented here. We have tons of out-of-state students, international students, where luckily there's something here for everyone. So these are more pictures of our campus. They give you a little bit better idea of what I'm referring to when I mention our campus. So as you can see from some of the pictures, lots of greenery, lots of outdoor spaces. I won't touch too much on our independent buildings here, but we're a growing institution. So we do a lot of different things. We just launched 3 new graduate programs. We're, again, working on those connections with our local area and taking advantage of all of the different opportunities that Norfolk and Virginia Beach have to offer us and our students. We just announced that the Museum of Contemporary Art is moving from Virginia Beach oceanfront to right here on campus. So again, lots of opportunities that are always in the works here. But our bottom picture in the right-hand corner, right above the words "a growing institution," is our Greer Environmental Science Building. That is home to a ton of things on sustainability. We really utilize that when we're talking about what our campus is like. So again, it's got solar panels, it's very eco-friendly, but we have a greenhouse, we have bees that make their own honey, different reptiles, state-of-the-art lab. So just a really cool place on campus, but it ties together what we're about well. So we are a liberal arts university. We're a private school. So I know that sometimes that price can seem scary, and I'll touch on that in a minute, but we are big on problem solving, creative thinking, and communication skills. You need those no matter what field you go into. We just make sure that they've been reiterated throughout all of your classes here. And we want to make sure that you get the most out of your experience. So we're big on, as I mentioned, experiential learning. We want you to study abroad or study away domestically in the United States. You can go to Hawaii or DC or New York City. Lots of ways to utilize our location on the East Coast with internships and different things like that. And yes, they're also available to our international students who are here on visas. So our accepted students, as international acceptance students, receive a scholarship automatically of between $21,000 and $24,000 each year. So I definitely encourage all of our potential students or anyone who's working with students to go ahead and apply. You want to know what that scholarship amount will be like. We have a $1,000 visit grant if you take a virtual tour. And of course, we have a work and learn program that's on campus employment, but those are all the ways that you get that price down. So again, you want to have the largest bang for your buck. So come to a location where you be able to utilize all of the options of a bigger city while still coming back to a small little campus. And ideally make it as affordable as possible. Virginia Beach is a super accessible place. Tons of Ubers. They're not expensive if you don't have a car or if you're just in need without a roommate who's going to drive you for a little bit. Everything is close. It's not difficult to travel. So again, and the different affordability options here, we do consider Virginia Wesleyan University a great option. And other than that, we encourage you to apply. It's free to apply. It's non-binding. And again, it's going to get you the option to know what your scholarship amount is, which is a really big component of studying abroad or coming to the United States to get your degree. And of course, different ways to connect with us. I know we mentioned we wanted to do some questions here, but if we do run out of time for that, this is how you can reach me. My email is there. We're on Instagram and our general enrollment email as well. So thank you so much. And I'll be passing this on.
Thank you so much, Brenna. Really appreciate it. Choo Choo, over to you.
Let me share my screen. Actually,
We've got about 7 minutes. So far, no questions. So we may
I
be able
only
to.
need 5.
All right, go for it.
All right, good day, everyone. I'm Choo Choo, and I'm here just to talk about Auburn Montgomery, as we affectionately call it, even though it's Auburn University at Montgomery. All right, just about AUM. AUM is a regional institution located at the capital of the state of Alabama. It's a perfect place for people to work and play. And the institution was established in 1967 to support the residents of Montgomery and the surrounding counties. It goes without saying, AUM is essentially set forth in between 2 large national universities, one of them being Auburn University, and the other one being University of Alabama at Birmingham. And you can see some of the highlights for AUM here, but I'll kind of move through so you can get to at least the objective of the presentation. And where is Montgomery? Montgomery is in the state of Alabama on the southeastern part of the state. You can see a picture of it right there. And of course, the question is, why Montgomery? You understand? One, it's the best historic city in the United States. Some of the history, is questionable whether it's good or not, but we can leave that to exploration when you do get here. It's a very vibrant city, has over 230,000 residents. The downtown area is bustling, and even as a matter of fact, I live in Auburn, and I travel to Montgomery every week.
Sounds like we're getting some feedback. Okay, that the noise is gone. I'm not sure what happened. You're on mute, Choo Choo.
Good?
Yes, good.
All right, I'll try it again. Clear?
It's starting up again. I wonder if perhaps when you're sharing your screen. Yeah, it seems when you share your screen, it does that. So
I'll relaunch it. Nothing like a little text snapping.
always technical difficulties. Perhaps you can just talk through some of the information from the slides without sharing. Yeah, that'd probably work.
Yes. Exactly. Okay, I guess without sharing, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, let me go through and see where I stop. Well, AUM has over 90 undergraduate and graduate degrees that are available for students. And some of the very hot ones are business, computer science, and information systems. There's also a high interest in some of the health. The nursing students have a 97% job placement 3 months after completing their actual degree. Now, I guess the primary objective here is to talk about a more affordable experience. Do you guys hear me repeating myself at like my echo?
No, on my end, I don't hear it repeating. So it sounds like, yeah. So we hear you well.
All Very good. Well, the estimated tuition and fees per semester at AUM is about $12,000. And the housing costs range from $1,900 to $1,500. And this is on-campus housing. Of course, you just have the opportunity to go and live where you want off campus, and generally speaking, won't really get open than $100 per semester. That boils down to less than $500 a month, utilities and everything included. International students that come to AUM are eligible for scholarships ranging from $2,000 to $1,000. And they're either as an incoming student you're eligible, or you are also eligible as a continuing student, provided you maintain a GPA higher than 0.0 or 3.25, depending on the scholarship you're actually applying. AUM is considered the most affordable university in the state of Alabama. I do want to show this graphic here, so I'm going to try and share my screen one time without talking, without speaking, so at least everyone can get to see. Just to get a visual. Just to get a visual. Just to get a visual. And just to get a visual. And just to get a visual. And I'm off. I couldn't help myself. I had to say something. Hope you guys should have access to our host, and then they'll be interested. I would love to talk more about AUM. If you're interested, please reach out to me, and will be provided to you. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Choo-Choo. Appreciate it. I know that was difficult. When tech isn't working, it makes it so hard. So thank you so much. All right. Well, thank you to all of our speakers. We really appreciate your time for sharing with us. We learned some wonderful information. Thank you to our attendees. We really appreciate you coming along as well. We hope that you learned more about these schools. There are going to be 2 other sessions that will be starting actually now. So feel free to join one of them. There's one on financing your degree, international student loans, and then the other one is about starting in summer for smart savings. So thank you all so much, and I look forward to seeing you at another session. Bye-bye.